There are several things that go to determine the sovereign fiscal responsibility index. This is a new kind of calculation. So we have the fiscal path, which is managing your debt levels over time. You have your fiscal status right now, the level of your debt, how you determine it, how much of that is foreign. And as you know, a good portion of our debt now is with China in the United States of America, because they have a lot of our dollar reserves. And then the issue that comes up at the end is fiscal governance. What is the structure of your government and budget process and accounting process that we can see as part of this calculation that you are a country that is fiscally responsible, you have transparency, and what does that mean? Do you have the right kind of accounting system? So I wanted to give you kind of a global perspective, and in the short time that I had, I hope I did it. I just want to conclude by going back to what I said about Washington, D.C. You will see the biggest fight we've had in our country 230 years, except for the Civil War and what we did in other major war catastrophes. And that's this whole debate that's now emerging in 2012. Because it is a debate on what is the role of the federal government. I started off by saying it was the states that created the federal government. The federal government didn't create the states. We are still a republic. We're a democracy, but we're a republic. Every state is sovereign. And the states have powers that the federal government cannot just assume. But over the years, the federal government has taken taxes from the states, and they have decided that they will become the birth source for many programs, education, entitlements. The debate now is, hey, are we going to be fiscally responsible? Are we going to bring government closer to the people where we can measure how inefficient it is? Because once you put government too far away, you can be sure you're creating a whole new bureaucracy with people standing online, more forms to fill out, more regulations, more rules. People want to keep those jobs. So the best way to deal with that is to redefine government in America. What are the things that the federal government should do? What are the things that the states should do? You're going to see that debate emerging. And as a fiscal conservative myself, you can be sure that I agree with the vision of the Founding Fathers, which was limited government at the top, and that's now going to be the big definition. It's not to take money away from the people or take benefits. It's how do we use all this money we're collecting in the most efficient way. This is a subject that's important enough. The message of America gets around the world, that this debate has to begin in every country. How do we govern? What's the cost of governance? How much do we collect in taxes fairly? How much do we have to borrow? But the bottom line in America right now, we're spending money we don't have. We're borrowing from countries that don't share our values. In the past it was Japan, now it's China. In many ways we don't trust China. It's still not a country that's left its communist roots. And what's the bottom line? We are threatening the next generation. We're threatening the dream of America that brought my forefather in 1929 at the age of 15 to the United States of America with no education from a farm village in Italy, and he worked his head off in that grocery store. I was raised in the Bronx behind that grocery store. My mom was there, also from Italy. And the promise of America, which I hope is the promise of the world, is that people with practically nothing could come to a country, work hard, and see their oldest son become a U.S. congressman. That is the promise of America. I hope that's the promise of the rest of the world as well.